Nobody in the current generation is unaware of Cadbury. But do you know how this company actually started? Back in 1820, people in England were getting really addicted to alcohol, which led to increased poverty and crime in the country. To tackle this issue, some leaders in England came together to start a movement called temperance. The aim of this movement was to educate people about the damage caused by alcohol addiction. So in this fight, there was a guy named John Cadbury. He figured that just educating people not enough. If he wanted to steer them away from alcohol, he needed to create a tasty drink. So he spent a bunch of time researching and eventually came up with a hot chocolate drink, what we now know as Cadbury chocolate drink. The question is, how did this little chocolate drink, made to help people avoid alcohol addiction, end up becoming one of the largest chocolate brands in the world today? Did you know that Indians used to never eat chocolates? That's because we have thousands of sweets, snacks and drinks in our country. But then Cadbury introduced their chocolates here, and not only did they get Indians hooked on them, but with their genius marketing strategies, Cadbury has become the biggest chocolate brand in India today. So the point is, businesses need to create products that meet customers' needs. It's pretty common, but creating a need that customers didn't know they had, and selling products based on that is really a next-level business strategy. I'm saying this because Cadbury created a need in our country that didn't exist before, and now they are the market leader. So how did all this happen, and what business lessons can we learn from it? I'm going to talk about that in this video. Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. In 1824, John Cadbury made a hot chocolate drink. They started a business selling to people, and back then it became really successful in England. So after John Cadbury, his two sons, Richard and George Cadbury, took over the business. One of those brothers, George, accidentally discovered Cadbury chocolate one day. How it happened was, after George had been running the chocolate drink business for a while, he noticed something interesting. They used cocoa beans to make the chocolate drink. So he processed those cocoa beans and made hot chocolate. After making chocolate, some leftover material comes out, and that's cocoa butter. At first, nobody paid much attention to it and just tossed it aside. But one day, George was cleaning his factory and noticed this solidified cocoa butter. He decided to give it a taste, and that day he realized that this cocoa butter could make his hot chocolate drink super tasty. He thought that by making some tweaks to the cocoa butter, he could create a good chocolate. Eventually, that's how John Cadbury started. Cadbury Dairy Milk Chocolate was created by the Cadbury Company, and back in the day people in England loved to eat Cadbury chocolates, but chocolates weren't new to them since a company called Fry's was already in the chocolate business over there. For a while, Cadbury and Fry's competed in the market, but finally in 1919, Cadbury merged with Fry's. After that, Cadbury took their chocolate business international, expanding into places like Australia. The Cadbury Company first started its business in India in 1947. As we mentioned before, Indians weren't really into chocolates. They didn't have much interest in them since there were already thousands of sweets in our country. That's why Cadbury targeted kids for marketing their chocolates, because if kids like a certain food item, they tend to keep eating it regularly. For example, if you observe any small children, you'll notice they went to the grocery store, and the first thing I picked up was some Lace chips and Kinder Joys. Kids tend to eat the same food item over and over if they like it, which is why Cadbury targets them with their chocolate marketing. But there is a problem here with the purchasing decision. Let me explain. When a 25-year-old guy goes out to buy something to eat, he doesn't need to ask anyone for permission. He just buys whatever he wants. So, it's about that product being bought. Only one person actually consumes it, but kids are in a different situation. When kids want to buy something or sell something, their parents step in. A product doesn't reach kids unless the parents approve it. So, the buyer and the consumer are two different people. Parents only buy a food item for their kids when they know it's not harmful to their health, right? Keep this in mind. We'll talk more about it in a bit. This is how Cadbury used to target kids when they were young. At first, kids used to ask their parents to buy them these chocolates and everything was fine for a while. But later, Cadbury started losing its business in India slowly. That many doctors and dentists in India started publishing reports saying that kids were ruining their teeth and facing a lot of health problems because they were eating too many chocolates. After seeing this, Cadbury stopped giving away chocolates, and as a result, their sales have been dropping every day. So, at just the right time, the company implemented a genius strategy to boost their sales again. This strategy is called product positioning, which means analyzing your product completely and targeting a specific group of customers to market it effectively. To put it simply, think of it like this. We've talked about something similar before. A 25-year-old guy doesn't need to ask for permission to eat whatever he wants, but when it comes to kids, parents have to give the green light. So, Cadbury realized this issue and decided to change their target customers. Instead of focusing on kids, they started promoting chocolates aimed at grown-ups for the first time. You might be wondering, with so many sweets already available in India, why would adults want these chocolates? The Cadbury company has created a unique need in the market by focusing on why people eat chocolate. They target the youth and middle-aged folks in India, designing ads that celebrate important moments in our lives. Their idea is to showcase how sharing Cadbury chocolates can enhance happiness during these moments. So, what you should notice is that for Indians, Cadbury chocolates have become the perfect choice for celebrating life's special occasions. Sweets aren't anything new, and celebrations aren't either. But the logic behind this marketing campaign is that we tend to follow what we see repeatedly. So, if we keep seeing a guy on TV proposing to his girlfriend with a Cadbury chocolate, it gets registered in our minds and makes us want to do the same. Everyone out there, whether it's to their friends or partners, is skipping the usual sweets for these Cadbury chocolates for any little occasion. Just think about it. Cadbury has created a need in people through their ad campaigns. If you look at their ads, they always showcase some important moment in our lives that we can connect with. They make it seem like there's no happiness better than celebrating that moment with their chocolate. Without even realizing it, we end up buying those chocolates for our friends, partners, and family. We started giving this a go with the Cadbury ad campaign. The real strategy behind it is all about changing the product positioning in the market. It's not just Cadbury that succeeded with this approach. Another foreign company did the same thing in India and found success too, Maggi. Initially, Maggi targeted working women in India when they launched their product. Since preparing lunchboxes early in the morning can be a hassle for them, Maggi offered a convenient instant option instead. They originally marketed noodles as a lunch item for the afternoon, but that strategy didn't work in India back then. So Maggi changed their product positioning, promoting noodles as a snack for kids instead of a lunch meal for adults. Today, they've grown into a company making thousands of crores in business in India. We've already done a detailed case study on the Maggi business. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll drop the link in the description and at the end cards. Check it out. They captured our Indian market just like the Cadbury company did, so once Cadbury slowly expanded their business in India, they didn't just target youth and middle-aged people, but covered all age groups and launched products for every festival. Today, this company holds about 70% market share in the Indian chocolate industry and is in the #1 position. So the important business lesson we need to learn from this case study is that no matter how hard we work on a product, sometimes even a well-designed product can flop in the market. If you keep looking for mistakes in the product every time it fails, you'll end up wasting a lot of money and time. What I'm trying to say is that while creating a good product is really important, knowing how to target the right customers and sell it is just as crucial. Not everyone is going to buy every product, so once you clearly identify who your target customers are, your business in the market will thrive. It's growing fast because many companies in the market today are in top positions. This is the perfect product positioning. If possible, we'll try to go into more depth about this in future videos. But first, we need to know if you liked this video, so if you did, definitely try to give it a like, because when you like it, it helps us understand what kind of content you enjoy. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. So thanks for watching.